Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. It's not so long ago that the sound hit the nation. Every Saturday night on your favorite radio. And the party's jumping, yeah. And the vibe feels so strong. Throw your hands in the air, lift your head up high. You know you've got to sing along. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Got to feel it. What's the name of the jam? Say I can feel it. You know you can. I've got my groove on, and I'm ready to go. Check out my ride, girl, but don't touch my radio. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You've got to pump it up and make me feel good. Feel so good. And make me feel good. Feel so good. Feel so good.
No, I done wrong, left your heart torn. Is that what devils do? Took you so long, where only fools go. I shook the angel in you. Now I'm rising from the ground, rising up to you. Filled with all the strength I found, there's nothing I can't do.
Can you love me
into the ocean's hope at the fading of the day. Aquatic kaleidoscope, see the colors sweep and sway. Down in the deep, deep blue, we build my world anew. Waves keep on washing over me. Swim out, glide into the open. Cool are the currents of the sea. Swim out, deep into the ocean.
Yo.
I carry the means to mend amid the fathoms and the foam. This ocean
What's up, guys?
is no end, and I'm a long, long way from home.
Down in the deep, deep blue.
We build my world anew. Waves keep on washing over me. Swim out,
Yeah, I know.
glide into the open. Cool are the currents of the sea. Swim out, deep into the ocean.
How are you feeling? Dude, I am beat. It has been a hell of a month, man. It has been a hell of a month.
Currents of the sea. Swim out, deep into the ocean.
Silence of the deep. What secrets does it keep?
The silence of the deep. What secret
Yes, this event was great. Thank you, dude.
waves keep on washing over me. Swim out, glide into the open. Cool are the currents of the sea. Swim out, deep into the ocean. Waves keep on washing over me. Swim out, glide into the open. Cool are the currents of the sea. Swim out, deep into the ocean. Silence of the deep. Wash over me. Secrets does it keep? Out into the silence of the deep. What secrets does it keep? Yeah, the silence of the deep. What secrets does it keep? The silence of the deep. What secrets does it keep? Yeah.
Hands up. Hands up. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Hello, everyone. I'm doing great, thanks to Simply Safe. You've been busy? Dude, I've been so busy. I've been so busy, man. I've been busy. I've been busy. I've been busy. So, good to see you guys. Look, I'm finally back home. The draft show was so good, insanely good production. E-Rob, just E-Rob. Yeah, E-Rob didn't get invited back today for the post show. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. E-Rob had a thing, but we're doing a little post show recap with Will. Let me see if I can get Will in here. Let's see, is this working? Hold. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Hello? Will, are you there?
Yes.
Yo, you're on.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
Dude, I'm doing good. Are you doing good?
I'm doing great. Just a little tired.
Dude,
but
I'm tired too. I'm beat up. I'm like just all the traveling and everything and the shows and stuff, but I'm good.
I'm beat up. I'm dying. I'm great though.
Other than that, I'm good. Emotionally, physically, I'm it's rough. Yeah.
Destroyed.
Just it's just absolutely just getting demolished. So yeah, chat. We're gonna do a little bit of a post show recap. Thanks to Simply Safe for sponsoring the show, so the draft show, so we could actually pay to use the replay studio and everything. So we're doing a little post show, and we're gonna talk about basically today. The plan is gonna be that we talk about. I should probably turn off alerts in a little bit, but we are going to talk about the basically. I want to go over first thing. We should have probably done this the night of. We even talked about it, but we didn't get to it. Winners and losers of round 1 of the draft. But I think we might as well talk about the whole thing, like as far as which teams you're excited to see, like what kind of comes out of this draft class for them. So Will and I will talk about that, and also. What I was thinking was maybe we'll do a little bit of guest star, and we'll have you guys chat. You guys can come on and talk about stuff if you want to. So I think that'll be fun as well. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. So, Will, how are you feeling about the Jets?
It's interesting. I feel like their later rounds are way more exciting to me than their early round. I think Will McDonald, they definitely think that he's special, and Joe McDouglas is a trenches guy, so I think he's factoring that he has a better evaluation of this kid because of his bend and his length and his arms. He's got a 7-foot wingspan. I'm not as excited about Will McDonald. Who I am excited about is Izzy, the Pitt running back taken in the 5th round. Kid had unbelievable production. Breece Hall might not be 100% at the beginning of the season, and he's a really fast, athletic back, great RAS score. And then the player I'm most excited about, who I was talking about, way earlier in the draft, and I didn't think would be on the board after the 3rd round, is Zach Kuntz out of Old Dominion.
Is it Kuntz or Kuntz?
It's Kuntz, but
okay, I just assumed.
Zach Kuntz, this guy, listen, he is there are some things about him that are so freaky. He's the most athletic tight end in the modern football era. So of the 1,800 plus tight ends that they've evaluated, he's number 1. He has a perfect 10 RAS score. He has one of the fastest 40s for a tight end ever. He's one of the tallest tight ends ever, one of the heaviest tight ends ever, some of the longest arms. He's like a full-blown freak of nature. Now, he only played at Old Dominion, and he's not very good at blocking, which is why he didn't go higher. But in terms of like a receiving tight end, this dude's RAS score is higher than Michael Pitts and Gronkowski. He could be an absolute freak. And what I absolutely love about it is he was selected on a pick that was traded from the Patriots. So if he turns out to be an absolute freak of nature, that's one of those things where it's like Belichick and the Patriots have to know that it's a 7th round pick. They traded the Jets. That was the game changer for them. So Kuntz is my guy.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. So whenever I was doing my research, before the draft, he was the guy that kind of he was the big I would say kind of like question mark, like hey, I wonder how this guy's gonna turn out whenever we're doing all that. Here, let's switch to this scene. Is this better? There we go. Looks good. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this guy, his like Will was saying, just absolute freak of nature of an athlete. I mean, to have a 40-inch vertical at 6'7" is just like, I mean, this guy's gonna go up over everybody. I actually think there's probably not another guy in the NFL who has as much, I guess vertical space that they can reach. I don't even know what to call it, but yeah, it's gonna be this guy's gonna be really interesting. I wanted the Cowboys to draft this guy.
Yeah.
Just as a project, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so I've never seen a perfect 10 RAS score. By the way, I keep saying RAS. For those of you who don't know, RAS stands for relative athletic score. And that's how they evaluate a lot of prospects. I've never seen a perfect RAS. So he basically he's like the create a player in Madden where you max all the stats physically. That's what this guy is.
Yeah. I mean, this is so if you guys remember my old Madden streams, those of you guys who watch my old Madden streams, this is Bo Woods, basically. I mean, this guy's actually probably better than Bo Woods. I had a tight end. I think I eventually moved him to receiver. I don't even remember. I kept flipping him back and forth between tight end and receiver, who was basically this guy. I mean, he was like a 92 speed, 6'7" tight end. It was just absolutely insane. So yeah, this guy is a absolute freak. I mean, dude, even look at his 3-cone. 6'8", a 4.12 short shuttle. This guy is 6'7".
He's
to
actually
be that tall.
6'8". They actually measured him at 6'8". He grew a little more after his college profile. 6'8", 251.
This guy's still going through puberty. This guy is still going through puberty, and he's the most physically gifted prospect in NFL history.
He did absolutely insane. Well, enough about the Jets. At the end of the day, if I had to give him a grade, I'd give him a B-, B. I think Tip is the guy. I think Israel's going to be very productive, Izzy. And I think McDowell's McDonald's the guy that you rotate in on third downs just to get after the quarterback. The rest of the picks, I think, are probably just projects. We'll see what happens. I actually really like a lot of their undrafted free agents. I think there are a few guys that have a chance to make a defense or offense there. What I want to talk about now, though, is your Dallas Cowboys. They didn't take Zach Kuntz, but they did take a tight end, and he's a guy who a lot of people love. So let's talk about it.
Well, okay, so a lot of people like this guy, Luke Schoonmaker. He's basically the exact opposite of Zach Kuntz. He's not the sort of like, well, he's not the exact opposite because he's still fairly athletic. Don't get me wrong, but he's not the 6'7", 4'5", all that. He does have pretty good straight line speed. But the big thing with this guy that they like is that they feel like he's somebody who can come in and plug in right away. Because I'll be honest, I was surprised by this pick. I was surprised by this pick for the Cowboys because Osiris Torrance, who a lot of people saw as a top 2 guard, some people even saw him as the best guard, right? If you don't count Peter Skoronski as a guard.
Yeah,
and
I would agree.
So he was still on the board, and the Bills picked him immediately after the next pick. The Bills got Osiris Torrance. So I'm kind of surprised that the Cowboys took this guy because I feel like they still need O-line help. They need help in terms, but honestly, both in terms of depth and I mean talent too in general. I mean they've had some injury issues the last couple of years. The O-line has. I mean, the Cowboys O-line, there was a period of time, basically at the end of Romo's career and the beginning of Dak's career, which was just insane. They were unreal. They're just the best in football. And now I think that title probably goes to the Eagles as far as having the best O-line goes. And a lot of that has to do with not only age, but they lost some guys to free agency. They've had some injury issues. Travis Frederick had the health issue, unfortunately, and he had to retire early. Which is, I mean, that completely sucks because he was unreal. I remember when they drafted Travis Frederick, they drafted a center in the first round. Everyone's like, okay, well, Cowboys are smoking crack again, and then he ended up being like one of the best centers ever to come out of the draft and as far as being able to play immediately and at such a high level. I think he made I don't know if, I think he was All Pro as a rookie. I know he made the Pro Bowl. It was one or the other. He was either Pro Bowler or All Pro as a rookie center, which is incredibly impressive. But But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I didn't like this so much, but a lot of people do like this guy, and they think Luke Schoonmaker can come in and play right away. Demarion Overshone is a guy they drafted, a linebacker who's a converted safety. A lot of guys right now coming out of college, you'll see a lot of these like hybrid linebacker safeties who, as the game has evolved over the years, you have more and more players who are fitting like these tweener roles because the game has gotten not only faster, but also the game's gotten a little bit more, football's a little bit more like horizontal instead of vertical because they like to put, get like 4 receivers out wide, get those wide splits. We're going to do the read option, RPOs, all this kind of stuff. And I know the defense that we ran at SMU, we ran like a 4-2-5 defense where you basically had like one high safety. Now, I mean, this is our base. I mean, we'd obviously do a bunch of stuff, but you had one high safety, and then you'd have like, he's like your free safety, but then you had 2 strong safeties that were kind of like hybrid linebackers. So we had that, and then we had 2 inside linebackers, and then 4 DNs, and then obviously 2 corners. But the reason why a lot of teams have these like hybrid safety linebacker type of players is just because the offenses are moving so fast, a lot of no huddle. So you want to have these guys who can they can come up and hit, but they can also cover somebody coming across the middle and being able to adapt to different formations. So yeah, I think Demarion Overshone, people are excited about him just because he's very, very athletic. I think actually for the rest of the Cowboys draft, I think the rest of the Cowboys draft, I wasn't too high on Jalen Brooks, the receiver from South Carolina. I didn't know too much about Viliami Fehoko. I don't know too much about him. This is a fun one. So Deuce Vaughn. I don't know if you saw this story. People kept linking me this tweet, and they were like, dude, you have to watch this on stream. Did you see the video already?
That phone call where his dad was like, hey, I lost my other phone. Would you like to come to work with me tomorrow? Is one of the, dude, unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Here, that doesn't make your heart melt, there's nothing going on inside your chest.
Let me see if I can pull this video up. Let me see if I can pull this video up here. So, chat, long story short, click. This guy, Deuce Vaughn, he's a running back from Kansas State. He's 5'5", and his dad is the assistant director of college scouting, I believe it was, for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, that's what it is. Assistant director of college scouting, Chris Vaughn, calling his son Deuce to let him know that Dallas had drafted him. So, here, let's see if we can load this up right here. Let's see if this will play. I wonder if I can make it to where you can hear it. Let's see if you can.
Don't worry about it. I watched it like 8 times.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's start it.
How's it going? Hey, it's going good. This is Dad. My phone wasn't working. Look at here.
Hold on. Twitter video. It's really good. Jack, can we get Harsh in the chat for Twitter video? It's awesome. Okay.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, it's going good. This is Dad. My phone wasn't working. Look at here, man. You want to come to work with me next week? I wouldn't mind that at all. I got somebody want to speak to you. I got somebody want to speak to you.
I don't know when I've been speaking for everybody that's really in the heart of the Dallas Cowboys is standing here with a tear in our eye. We're so happy to have you on the Dallas Cowboys.
Isn't that great?
I can't thank you enough.
Well, what I really want to say, you earned every ounce of me being able to make this call. I'm so excited. There's just something magical about this moment that may be bigger than we even realize here talking to you on the phone. But you is now a Dallas Cowboy. Your daddy just handed the card in. Right here. Yes, it's got him on it. Congratulations.
Hey, Deuce, Mike McCarthy, congratulations.
What's up, Coach? I appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, I've been doing this a long time. This is so special for you and your father and your family. And if you could make sure You drive, so make sure your dad's on time for work. We'd appreciate it.
I can do that. I can do that.
Deuce, man, congratulations. One of the coolest things I've ever seen in football was your dad making that call.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So proud of you and your family. That is. Thank you.
We won't let you down. I promise you that.
There you go. Yeah. So, I mean, this is just cool. I mean, I saw some people saying like, this is like a nepotism, you know, or it's like, oh, like they just do it for marketing. The thing you guys got to understand about the NFL is like, there's definitely times, I will say this, I think in coaching, I think when it comes to staff, there's definitely times where you want to have people around you that you can trust. And yes, you will give somebody that you know closely, maybe family, the benefit of the doubt, or like you'll give them the first opportunity at something, right? That happens all the time in coaching, you know. But when it comes to results on the field, like you can't afford to bring in a guy just because, you know, that's my son, so I want to have the son on the team. You can't afford to do that. So it's like,
no, he played great out of college, right?
Yeah.
He was like a little scat back, 5'5", broke ankles, received a lot out of the backfield. I don't think, you know, he's also taken in the 6th round. You take a flyer on him, but I don't think he goes undrafted. I think someone would have picked him up.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great player at Kansas State. I mean, first team AP All-American. Wait, he was an Associate Press All-American 2-time. He had almost 2,000 all-purpose yards in 2022, which led the FBS. That's crazy. I didn't realize statistically he was as good as he was. So he had almost 1,600 yards in 2022, and on top of that, he had almost another 400 yards. So receiving. So he's a great receiver out of the backfield, and he was super productive. The only thing is he is absolutely tiny. He is 5'5", 179. That's just, I mean, he's
Sproles size.
Yeah, people were literally comparing him to Devin Sproles, or Darren Sproles, excuse me. And I also saw some people comparing him to Jaquez Rogers. But Jaquez Rogers was bigger than he is. So I don't know, maybe, but I saw a lot of comparisons to Darren Sproles. It's hard to say. Sometimes people will compare two people together just because of their size, which I mean, I do think is part of it, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. So can he catch? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, outside of that, that's basically what how I feel about the Cowboys draft. What did you feel about the first round in general? Like just kind of coming off of that first round, like whenever we ended the show, that was probably one of the wildest first rounds that I can ever remember seeing.
I think it is the wildest first round. And I mean, just the number of trades and surprising picks and people not going where we expected them and teams not drafting for needs. A lot of teams drafting strength on strength. It wasn't just, the Jets that did that. We had the Vikings do that. You know, they draft another really big wide receiver and kind of shock a lot of people. We had the Detroit Lions with one of the most bizarre double picks in the first round of a running back and a linebacker.
Yeah.
You know, you had a lot of things that, I mean, I think people were really, really surprised by. The other one that I was surprised by, but, not super surprised, but Zay Flowers going before some of those other wide receivers, and then Jordan Addison and some of those other guys going later. But, really interesting draft. It's always one of those things where you can put your 2 cents on it, but until you see these guys play in their team, your opinion is just that. It's an opinion. And so it doesn't really matter what I think. I don't get paid to do this. Ultimately, it comes to the guys that spent the last 4 or 5 months prepping for this, and we see how their things pan out. Now, one thing I will say, though, the Lions were a really good team last year. Well, not really good, but they had the makings of a team that could be good. And I think that this draft pick, or this draft, especially the first round, has to leave their fans scratching their head.
Yeah.
When you go running back where it's an area of strength, now they traded away their running back to the Eagles. I don't know. But after that, they go Jack Campbell, a player I loved, but definitely not a first-round prospect. It just felt like a throw.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about this too. I saw this graphic on Twitter. I don't know, Chad, if you guys saw this, but there was a graphic on Twitter that was like, well, that was a great first 4 picks for the Lions. And they had like, they circled the picks and they were like moving stuff around. They're like, yeah, the first 4 picks were great, but like in this order, it just didn't make any sense. Like Jahmyr Gibbs at 12 and Jack Campbell at 18, Sam Laporta at the top of the second round, Brian Branch. Like these are 4 good players, but these are like, I mean, a lot of people saw these guys as like second round picks. So it's like you got kind of like 4 second round picks, and they're probably going to be good. But as far as like taking guys who how they're going to plug in, I mean, you have now. Okay, so what do you have on the Lions now? The running backs of the Lions, they lost. They lost DeAndre Swift.
The one thing I will say about their first pick, who I like better than the Jack Campbell pick, Jahmyr Gibbs. Apparently, a lot of front offices were way higher on Jahmyr Gibbs than a lot of people thought. A lot of like apparently front offices had him neck and neck with Bijan, and a lot of the Vegas odds and the Mel Kipers of the world had it as a clear 1-2 tier, but a lot of head offices had that differently. Now I don't disagree with the Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe as high as he was taken seems a little strange. The pick that was really strange to me was Jack Campbell, because I do not know if the Detroit Lions don't take him at 18, he's probably on the board into the 30s, 40s, and maybe even 50s.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do think Jack Campbell is like a very good.
He's a freak.
Yeah, I think he's a very good linebacker, but I think a lot of people kind of saw him as a kind of low to mid second round guy. He had a lot of a lot of comparisons to Leighton Vander Esch. It's here on this graphic too, actually. So yeah, I mean, this is a guy who I think is going to be very good, but I'm just not entirely sure if they should have taken him as high as they should have. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I think the big thing with Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe it's just like my own biases or something with running backs. I don't like taking the small fast guy super high in the first round as a running back. As a running back super high in the first round, because I feel like if I'm taking a first round running back, he's got to be a do-it-all kind of guy. But the problem with some of these do-it-all kind of guys is they get worn down too fast. But that has a lot to do with like how the team kind of utilizes them. And yeah, a good example is like Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott came out the gate and was just on fire his first few years in the league, and then he just kind of got worn down. And I don't know if that has to do with the fact that he had so many touches, or if that was just him. I don't know. But I do think somebody like Bijan Robinson is that do-it-all kind of guy. I mean, even just watching him, dude, like the combination of his size and the shiftiness that he had, I mean, the agility at that size, it reminded me of LaDainian Tomlinson. I really thought Bijan Robinson, just watching him, it was very LaDainian Tomlinson-like. So it's cool to see. I mean, anytime you have those like, because he's not, I wouldn't call him like a big back, but he is a little bit bigger. He's 220, but he's not like a Derrick Henry, and having the ability to catch out the backfield and the ability to run inside, be able to make somebody miss, cut outside and take it down is very impressive to me. So
yeah, well, I think both with Bijan and Jahmyr, the issue is time and time again, teams have proven that running back is a position that you can hit late. A lot of times, teams have hit late on running back. So if you take a running back in the first round and pass up all your other needs, he better be an automatic day one phenom. And I think both these guys do have a chance to do that.
Yeah, no, that is true. I mean, I think the ability for him to come in and make an impact, I think is there 100%. Clown music was playing. Okay. You know who we haven't talked about yet? The Texans. I feel like the Texans coming in and making that play for back-to-back 2 and 3 picks is complete insanity. It's exciting, and I can't wait to see what happens in Houston. I love it. I absolutely love that they did this. I mean, I even like, I kind of like, I was like joking about it. I was like, this is the most insane thing that could probably happen is if they
the fact that you called it made it better for me, to be honest. I like, it was exciting, but to have your co-host have like called it 10 minutes earlier was hype.
It's just, well, even though I was like, there's literally no chance that this happens. It's like it's not gonna happen, but it would be crazy. they actually pulled it off. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know if it could have gone any better for them coming out of the first round. I mean, that was to get, in my opinion, the top player in the draft and or the top defensive player in the draft and one of the top 2 quarterbacks is. I think that was just incredible.
The other pick I love, Henry to Otu. I literally, I think one of the best, like, real straight stand-up middle linebackers in the draft out of Alabama.
Yeah. No, I think people don't like talking about him because his name is hard to say and they get embarrassed. But he's he's another really, really good player.
I learned how to say it, and that's why I'm flexing. All right. if I learned how to say Otu, I'm gonna say it a few times.
So yeah, no, I think he's another guy who's gonna come in and he's gonna perform really, really well.
Dude, he was a guy I was praying the Jets took, and I think the Texans picked him 2 picks before us because he slid down the board a lot farther than people thought he was going to. But the other guy, Tank Dell, I mean, he can make moves. Now, here's the one thing I will say about the Houston Texans draft. They are accelerating their timeline significantly.
Yeah.
Significantly by what they did with Will Anderson Jr., right? All of a sudden, when you trade those future draft assets, and as much as you traded to do that, when you do that, you go into win now mode.
Yep.
Which is tough because they have a really young quarterback in CJ Stroud. They have a guy who I think can be a very smooth passer, but really put it into overdrive because now you don't have reinforcements coming in future years, really, the way that you should. So the Texans have turned on the light. It's win now. They want to make waves in that division, and let's hope they do, because if you bet with that kind of veracity on a player like Will Anderson Jr. and he doesn't pan out, man, the front office is on the hot seat. You drafted a quarterback, you gave up assets for an edge rusher. One or both of them better pan out.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think this is one of those situations where if you gamble like this and you're trading up in the draft and you're making moves to get a lot of guys early, it's high risk, high reward. I mean, if it turns out good, if it pans out, you're gonna look like a genius. But if it doesn't, then it's not gonna last very long, you know. And you know, people in Houston, they love D'Amico Ryans. I mean, he played there for a long time. I can't remember if he was a 1st or 2nd round pick for them out of Alabama. Actually, I'm gonna look that up. D'Amico Ryans. Am I remembering this right? I think he was a 2nd round pick out of. Oh wait, no, hold on. That's wrong. He was a. He was. He was at the top of the 2nd round. He was the 1st pick in the 2nd round out of Alabama, going to the Texans. So he was basically like a hometown player, and it's very exciting to see him come back and coach, and people really want to see what he can do for them, especially since that was relatively early in the history of the Texans even being a franchise, because the Texans were founded in. I guess they started in 2002, and he joined in 2006. So the Texans had only been around for 4 years before D'Amico Ryans was drafted. So
By the way,
having-
I want to call out someone in chat someone in chat talking shit. Chaotic Caliber is calling me an idiot because he's saying that Will Anderson Jr. is not an edge rusher. Yes, he is listed as a linebacker, but that is an edge position because they rush the quarterback. So if you look at their NFL draft profile, you'll see linebacker and then edge, EDGE, which means edge rusher. I know that might be hard because you probably can't read, you fuck. But yes, he is an edge rusher. So shut the fuck up. I'm too tired for that, man. I slept like 7 hours. I can't be having people talking shit like that.
Well, not only is he an edge rusher, Will, but he was also our Simply Safe defender of the draft.
He was.
He was also our Simply Safe defender of the draft. Yes. So it was very good. Simply Safe's advanced technology helps to verify actual threats and get help there fast. And you will most certainly need it for a guy like this. So yes, he is our Simply Safe defender of the draft. So they call him the reason why they call them edge rushers is because they're edge players is because, well, really edge rushers, whatever they call them. The reason why they list them as edge is because, like Will said, different teams have different formations they run out of, and especially now, like a lot of teams have multiple different formations that they run out of, even like within one game's like game plan. Like they might base out of a 4-3, but then rotate to a 3-4, but then they have like a nickel and a dime package, and there's like a whole bunch of different sets, then a whole bunch of different fronts that they have looks for. And somebody like Will Anderson would either be a defensive end, a 4-3 defensive end, or a 3-4 outside linebacker. In my opinion, I think this guy could also be a 4-3 outside linebacker that rushes the passer a lot like a Micah Parsons. And that's a lot like what Von Miller did as well. Like Von Miller, Micah Parsons, those guys are like in that kind of role.
Has he ever played that before?
You know what? I don't really know, but you can tell by the way he moves that he has like the he has the capabilities of it physically.
Yeah, he's kind of freaky.
Yeah, I think he has the capabilities to do it physically. If a guy can't learn how to, because you are gonna have to cover sometimes if you're in that position, even if they want to bring you up as a pass rusher a lot. And I think if you just can't do that, then you just can't do that. But I think as far as the physical traits go, I think he's got it all. So,
all right, can I talk about someone whose draft I really like?
Yeah.
Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis Colts. This was a fun one.
Indianapolis Colts. They got a lot of players. Listen, Anthony Richardson is a guy. He's a lotto ticket, but they also got some other great players. And I really like Josh Downs where they got him at pick 79.
Dude, how about that in the 3rd round?
Yeah, he's kind of freaky.
Josh Downs I think is going to be a really good player.
So their draft is definitely boom or bust. We're gonna find out how their players pan out, but it was exciting, man. Maybe I liked it just because it was so exciting to see them buck the trend and kick Will Levis down the line. But Will Levis is one of those guys who obviously they weren't the only front office that felt that way because he slid down the board and where he ended up. At pick 33 for the Tennessee Titans might be a better situation for him. A lot of people say it's not where you get or when you get drafted, it's where you go.
Yeah.
And Will Levis has every opportunity to go into Tennessee and have a lot of success down there. So it'd be cool to see both those guys pan out and really we usher in a new era of quarterbacks. But with the way that, quarterback picks go, probably only one or neither of them will pan out, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did you hear the story? They said apparently the Titans were ready to draft Will Levis at 4 if Anthony Richardson was going to get picked at 3.
Huh.
I read this story that apparently the Titans wanted to draft. They basically they wanted to go quarterback no matter what, and they were willing to take basically. They thought, whenever CJ Stroud got picked, they thought somebody was going to trade in, and they were like, if somebody doesn't trade in and take Anthony Richardson. Oh,
well,
I said Titans.
You,
I misspoke. Sorry, excuse me. I misspoke. I meant Colts. We're talking about Will Levis. So I said Titans. My bad. So yeah, they said the Colts were willing to. I misspoke. Sorry.
The Titans had traded up and didn't take Peter Skoronski, and he was a Jet right now. But
yeah. But no, sorry. The Colts were willing to take Will Levis at 4, but whenever Anthony Richardson was there, they took Anthony Richardson. But it's just kind of funny because sometimes one team values a guy really highly.
Yeah.
And then what happens is the draft kind of pans out the way it pans out, and then he ends up not going until the top of the second round, essentially. Now, like you said, I think the Titans is literally probably the perfect spot. For Will Levis to go. I think it was an absolutely incredible pick. The fact that he fell to them. Dude, I think E-Rob was even saying he thought the Titans would even consider taking Will Levis in the first round.
Oh,
was it E-Rob that said that?
When he was still there at 11, I was like, oh, yeah. Because listen, the Tennessee Titans have a good situation down there. They have a decent team. And, their quarterback's been a little bit of a question mark, not a huge one. I think he's better than people give him credit for. To pick Peter Skronsky at 11 and then still get Will Levis at 33, Titans look pretty good.
Yeah, I think the Titans draft turned out super good for them. I think like you said, I think the Colts is going to be really fun to see with Josh Downs in the third round. Josh Downs kind of reminds me of I think if I remember right, I compared him to Cole Beasley a little bit smaller guy, but somebody who can still jump, big vertical, good speed, really quick, a really good route runner. He reminded me a lot of Cole Beasley. Josh Downs did. And I think any sort of help that you can get Anthony Richardson, if he's the kind of guy who can find a way to get open and be like his bailout guy, then that's going to be great, fantastic for them. And like I said, the Colts have some talent there already. I mean, they got tight ends. They got we talked about it in the draft. They got Mo Alley Cox. They got Kylan Granson at tight end. They got Michael Pittman. They so they have some guys there already. But I think the more weapons that you can put around and guys who can kind of make plays for Anthony Richardson and find a way to get open whenever he's a young quarterback, I think is going to be huge. So, I want to go back. I want to look at the Titans one more time. We're gonna pull up the Titans again real quick.
Peter Skronsky at 11, Will Levis at 33, Tajay Spears at 81, Josh Weil out of Cincinnati at 147, Jalen Duncan at 186. And Colton Dowell at 228.
Yeah, from UT Martin. Is UT Martin where? Oh no, I was thinking of Tennessee Chattanooga. I was thinking of where T.O. went to school. He went to Tennessee Chattanooga. But yeah, I think the Titans draft is solid as well. And I think bringing in another running back is good too, because Derrick Henry is not getting any younger. He's not getting any younger, and I didn't like how Tajay Spears didn't run his 40, so it's kind of like it's hard to. I really don't like when people don't run their 40s at the combine, but I know why they don't do it. A lot of times people will not run their 40s because they think they're not ready to get a good time, and they run it at their pro day instead, where they think they can get a little bit better time, But yeah, I think the Titans had a great draft as well. And Ryan Tannehill, you're right. Ryan Tannehill is better than people give him credit for. I'm like I get annoyed when people act like Ryan Tannehill sucks. I think Ryan Tannehill is.
I mean, these are the same people that'll be like, who else sucks? Derek Carr. Fuck that guy. And you're like,
yeah.
How can you be so mad at a quarterback that's just like middle of the pack?
Yeah, like I feel like he's in that. He's in that range of quarterbacks that's like, these are good NFL quarterbacks. These are reliable, good NFL quarterbacks. Like, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not an S tier quarterback. He's not Pat Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not those guys. Sure. But like, just look at the body of work, man, for Ryan Tannehill. And I think Will Levis coming in there, if Will Levis turns into a guy like Ryan Tannehill and plays for 10 plus years, and is a starter and plays at a decent level, then I think that is a good draft pick. Like, look at his career stats. He's thrown for 33,000 yards in his career. I mean, what is his career passer rating? Career passer rating 91.9.
Yeah.
You know?
Someone in chat asked a good question, and we touched on this a little bit. So they're giving up on Malik already. I think at this point you'll let Malik compete. You know, if he can flip a switch on and go crazy, good. But I think for all intents and purposes, yes, the Malik experiment is over in Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, I don't think you're completely out on a guy forever after 3 games, but to play 3 games and in 3 games have like the statistical performance of having like 1 bad game is pretty rough. 276 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions after starting 3 games. So that's pretty rough. Now, he did run for 123 yards, and he did score a rushing touchdown, but he also fumbled the ball 3 times. So, I mean, like, the guy got benched for Josh Dobbs. You know, no, didn't he get benched for Josh Dobbs in the last game of the season, where if they won the game, they would have gone to the playoffs?
I don't watch enough Titans football to know that.
Am I Titans fans? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm making. It was the last 2. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's just that tells you all you need to know. I don't think you're completely out on a guy for his career, but that tells you all you need to know about having a guy you're going to hand the keys to. You know, I think you let him come in, you let him compete, you let him develop. But I mean, I would be hard pressed to see a situation where Levis doesn't come in and almost immediately win the second string job at quarterback and just start preparing to be the guy after Tannehill's contract runs out. Which let me see how much longer is left on Tannehill's contract. I'm looking this up right now. Is it 1 year? That's what I thought, but I'm trying to double check. Does it say here? You guys are pretty confident it's 1 year, so I'll just listen to chat on this one. But yeah, no, Tannehill is not a waste of money. I'm such a big believer in.
You know who kind of had a baffling draft too?
Who?
The 49ers.
Wait, did they take a kicker in the 3rd round?
They took a kicker at pick 99 with their 2nd pick in the draft. I mean, yeah, you know what? Someone had a really great comment in chat. They needed a kicker. That they did. They drafted for need.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing is they went tight end right after that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not.
Wow, you seem convinced by this draft.
Yeah.
Picks.
Well, I'm not totally out on going tight end for the 49ers because
sure.
I think having depth there, especially for them, like they've had what's his name? Kittle's been injured a lot. So
Sure.
I think having a guy come in and who can learn under one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Actually, I would say probably one of the better tight ends in the history of the NFL, with George Kittle. I think having a guy come in and learn from him is probably going to be pretty solid, especially since they do so much with their tight ends. But I do think the kicker pick with their 2nd pick in the draft is kind of baffling. Kickers are important, but I don't know if this is a guy who is going to get drafted, anywhere close to that, or maybe even at all, to be honest. I mean, this guy was, Jake Moody was one of the better kickers in college, but, and he's from Michigan, but, I think in the 3rd round, I just think it's kind of, it's one of those things where you're like, well, we could wait until after the draft, but what if somebody drafts him? But I don't think you do that in the 3rd round. I don't think it's crazy to draft a kicker or punter, but doing it in the third round.
I'm okay doing it in the third round. Maybe if you have some draft real estate earlier.
Oh yeah,
and you've
that
addressed
too.
like some other, holes or needs, but with your second pick in the draft, just go, man, take the kicker. I mean, it's really an endorsement of what a complete team the San Francisco 49ers are, that they look at their roster and they're like, you know what? We're fucking solid. Take the guy who can kick. I don't give a shit. That's wild, but if you as someone who's evaluating drafts, you got to look at that and kind of, it's just a head scratcher is all I would say. I mean, unless Jake Moody goes in and he's leg Jesus, you know what I mean? If he's the greatest kicker that we've seen in a generation, then they look like geniuses and we look like fucking idiots. So.
No, yeah. Here's the thing. What if this is go back in time? What if this is Justin Tucker, for example? Yeah. Then I mean, if he's that guy, if he's a Justin Tucker, if he's a Adam Vinatieri, then sure. But you don't know. So it's like I think you're absolutely right about they might just see their team as so complete that they were like, you know what? Maybe we need a kicker.
Yeah.
Let's get a kicker.
Fuck you guys. We're going need, baby.
Yeah. Sebastian Janikowski was a first round pick. True. Sebastian Janikowski was very famously a first round pick for the Raiders, and
awesome.
That was also kind of crazy. You know what I think was a really good pick for the Niners though? D. Winters, he's a little bit undersized, but he was really good at TCU, and I think it'll be interesting to see how he pans out in the NFL, either like as a role player or who knows? I mean, this guy could end up developing into a starter for them at some point, but super athletic. They moved him around the field on defense at TCU.
Yeah, he played inside and outside.
Mm-hmm. And I think it'll be interesting how he pans out. I mean, he's 5'11", 230. Runs a sub 4.5. Like that's impressive. I mean, he's another one of those guys who he's got some pass rushing ability. He's got some coverage ability. So it'll be interesting to see how he how he pans out for them and how they end up utilizing him. So. Let's see who I want to look at the New England Patriots.
Oh Lord,
where did they go? Because New England Patriots did something interesting in the first round. They dropped down and they went corner after. Was it Emmanuel Forbes was picked at 16? I think Emmanuel Forbes was picked at 16. Who a lot of teams had him as a top 5 corner, but it wasn't like the 1 and the 2 for a lot of people was Christian Gonzalez and Devin Witherspoon. Some combination of that. And they dropped down.
Yep.
Emmanuel Forbes gets picked, and then they immediately take Christian Gonzalez. So it was like they did the Patriots thing where they just kind of sit there and like, and they trade down, get more picks, and then draft somebody, and I think it panned out for them amazingly. I mean, somebody else took a guy who was more than likely lower on their board than Christian Gonzalez, and Christian Gonzalez is that big, physical, athletic corner guy who's going to come up and be able to press you from Oregon, and I think it's going to be exciting to see. I think that was a great pick for them.
Listen, they played PvP, right?
They played some PvP,
trade down
they did.
was. That trade down was tactical. They knew that Broderick Jones was heading to the Jets. Jets would have loved to have Broderick Jones out of Georgia. They desperately needed a tackle, and then all the top tackles were gone because of what the Patriots did. And then they ended up with the top scored, corner in the draft. Christian Gonzalez is a guy who has great production and great athleticism, and I can't hate that first round at all. They did a really, really masterful job in that first round.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Keon White, interesting though, they traded up for a punter out of Michigan State. They traded with the Jets, and ultimately it is that trade that got the Jets Zach Kuntz. who
Yeah.
might come back to haunt them.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people say this was the best punter in the coming out of college this year. I actually don't know. I don't know much about him, but yeah, I think I'm actually so freaking jealous of the Jets right now, man. Because like,
of Zach Kuntz?
dude, just in general, dude. The first round, I know you were not happy about the first round with Will McDonald because there were so many other pass rushers on the board. Like there was like a Miles Murphy from Clemson, for example. They could have taken him, or they could have taken a Nolan Smith from Georgia.
Nolan Smith was who I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but
Listen, the Jets' plan is clear now. It's RAS score.
Yeah, they just want
Literally
athletes.
Joe Douglas is looking at RAS scores and he's like, I want the most athletic team on the field. I just want a bunch of freaks. We will iron them out. We'll fix the picadillos in their game. Give me freaky athletes.
yeah, I mean that's the old school the Raiders mentality from years ago.
Yeah.
Which I mean
Didn't work out
really
great
work-
for the Raiders, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it didn't work for them. But hey, maybe that's maybe it'll work out for the Jets. So I mean, so far it kind of has. I mean, dude, the last draft, as many like impact rookies that they had, was nuts. I mean, I think that they're gonna have some guys come in this year and be able to do the same thing. So, especially with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, I think the Jets have a lot to be excited about. If you're a Jets fan right now, you've just got to be on top of the world. But you know, we did talk about Nolan Smith. Let's go look at the Eagles.
Oh man.
I think the Eagles, when we talk about when we talk about winners of the draft, I think you can't really talk about potential winners of the draft without mentioning the Eagles, Philadelphia. So I mean, you know, Jalen Carter, D tackle from Georgia, arguably the best player in the. Some people thought he was the best player. I mean, I liked Will Anderson a little bit more, but Jalen Carter could very well be better than Will Anderson is. I think that's a totally reasonable opinion. Nolan Smith. You got a pass rusher from Georgia there. You got corner from Georgia, Kelly Ringo. I mean, they're just drafting all these Georgia players. They have Jacoby. Is it Jacoby Dean? Is his name?
Nakobe.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean. That's right, Nakobe Dean. You have the other D tackle from Georgia. They got Jordan Davis. You got Jordan Davis last year in the first round. So you have
Swift.
like. It's just crazy. Oh yeah, that's
They have
right. He was
Swift now, too.
running back at Georgia. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
They are bulldogged out, man. Like, listen, here's what I will say about this draft. The Jets had a draft like this last year, right? Where you come away with just way more assets than you should in that draft, right? You come away with assets where people are like, damn, that's wild. When the Jets did it, they had 2 picks within the first 10 picks. The Eagles did that with just normal draft assets.
Yeah.
They
pretty
came
much.
away with 3 guys that I think could be day one starters for them on a team that was already fucking loaded. Wild, man. And listen, again, this goes to say these are all just projected things. These players might not go in and do a goddamn thing, but Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith are going to be dogs. They already were bulldogs. You know what I mean? S-fans, see what I did there?
Yeah.
And I think Keely Ringo and Moro Ojimo are both wicked as like also where they got them. So we'll see. Could be an easy draft winner.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are freaking just absolutely owned. The only thing, Tanner McKee, I think Tanner McKee is a great quarterback. Him going in the 6th round, but I don't really think he like fits their offense. So it's just kind of interesting to see them pick him. Give me a second. I gotta go to the door. I'll be right back.
Jimmy's locked out.
Yeah.
Let Dad in. Hey, chat. How you doing? I hope you're having a good Sunday morning. Usually I take Sundays off, so I'm a little grogged out. But I hope you're having fun. I hope you're enjoying the football talk. We enjoy it a lot, obviously. And guys, I got to say, you know, on S-Fan's behalf, thank you so much for all of you showing up to his draft spectacular. It was awesome, man. It was so cool to see how many people were there. And it's awesome to see how you guys, his community, showed up in support of one of my favorite streamers and an all around great guy who put a lot of hard work in. So pretend we didn't talk about it. Aaron Rodgers was at the Knicks game, dude. You could see on. I want S-Fan to pull it up. They pulled up Aaron Rodgers on the jumbotron, and for the first time outside of Green Bay, he heard like New York just go, ah! And you could see his face be like, I should have left fucking years ago. It was awesome, man. That was just sick. Or I should have left Green Bay. My bad. Yeah, that was hilarious.
Okay.
Do you think there is too much football? I feel these guys need a second bye week for health/recovery. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I'd be on board for a second bye week. I think anything that makes the season a little longer, I'm okay with. I'm okay with teams taking a second bye week just to recover and assess.
A second bye week in the schedule for the NFL?
I mean, someone suggested it in chat. I don't hate that. It gives you a chance to let your players do their thing, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
recover.
I'll be honest, I'm about it. I think that'd be good.
It'd make the Super Bowl President's Day weekend not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be good. Especially because they added another game. Now there's 17 games in a season.
Yeah.
So, like, I think another bye might be good.
You know what I want the NFL to do, which a lot of people are going to disagree with? I think you add international teams. You add one other division, Mexico City, London, Toronto, and like, I don't know, Winnipeg. 4 more teams, brand new division. You call it the international division. I would love that so much. Now, it would ruin a lot of people because of travel.
Yeah, I feel like London, unfortunately, would like just get owned.
Yeah.
Because of the travel.
Yeah.
But
by the way, everybody's saying Winnipeg.
Cool.
Why? Because the Winnipegs have the Jets already, baby.
Maybe you do like, I mean, you could do something like that if they ever wanted to add teams and you wanted to go international with it, and add 2 teams to like Canada. A team in Mexico is hard because there's such a big language barrier, but Mexico has a lot of football fans.
Dude, I think you could pull it off, and it'd be so awesome. Can you imagine that? I mean, that it would be a bad division for a long time, but it would be so cool to see football go international.
Yeah, it would. It would. But oh, you know what? There's some things we weren't thinking about though. Somebody mentioned like taxes and stuff. Yeah, taxes would be kind of AIDS in Canada.
Taxes? I mean, you already have Cheetah going to Florida, so he doesn't have to pay any taxes at all. Florida's basically a tax haven already.
No, but
I mean?
I'm saying that the other way around. Like if they were playing in Canada, because like Canada apparently like it's like insane taxes. So like people would end up not wanting to even play there because they're like, dude, like my whole.
I mean, people play for the Rams. Taxes out here are fucking brutal, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know how it compares. I don't know how California compares to Canada. I don't know how much. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, it probably is pretty bad. So Europe is even worse. Really? Anyway, we're talking about the Eagles. Oh, did we talk about the Steelers? We didn't talk about the Steelers yet. I think the Steelers draft, them getting Joey Porter Jr. at the top of the second round, that was huge because. I had them. I think in my mock, I had them taking him with their first pick at. I think they were at 15 before, weren't they? I don't know, but I don't know if they were at 14 whenever I did my mock draft or not. But I had them taking Joey Porter Jr. with their first pick, and the fact that they were able to get him in the second round, Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia, very good tackle from Georgia.
Also, Darnell Washington, who slid big time.
Darnell Washington, because I think there was an injury scare with him, which is why, I mean, a lot of Cowboys fans were like, why didn't they take Darnell Washington instead of Schoonmaker from Michigan? And I mean, I think that's also fair. I think either Darnell Washington or Osiris Torrance, the guard, would have been fine. But the concern, I think, was was the injury with Darnell Washington. It caused him to drop down into the third round, and I think that is just massive value. Corey Trice, corner from Purdue. This is another guy who's also good. I mean, I don't even know. This guy fell to the 7th round. I think there was a lot of people talking about Corey Trice. Like 6'3", 200 pounds, ran a 4.4. I mean, this is the type of corner that can come in and go up for those jump balls, and he's real rangy. I think Corey Trice from Purdue is an amazing pick in the 7th round. So speaking of other people that fell, Andrew Voorhees from USC. Andrew Voorhees, 2 years ago, people were talking about how he was like
Second round, first round
pick, maybe the top guard in the draft 2 years ago. Like if he had come out 2 years ago, he would have been like the top guard in the draft. And then, yeah, his cousin, I think his cousin played hockey or something. I don't know. But yeah, Andrew Voorhees, he went to the Ravens in the 7th round. This guy tore his ACL at the combine.
Brutal.
Yeah, it just absolutely sucks. And it ended up making him go all the way down to the 7th round. Where's Baltimore? They're there. The hell? Okay. Yeah, he was their last pick, 7th round pick. I think they traded into the 7th round. I think they didn't have a pick left, and then they saw he was on the board and they traded up for him. So this guy goes, and I think there's a video that we watched of him doing the bench press with his torn ACL. Like he literally, I think he did it. He did the jumps, vertical jump, broad jump, and then got injured. I don't know what he was doing whenever he got injured, but he tore his ACL and ends up doing 38 reps of 225 after he tears his ACL. Insane. I mean, he's just like 38 reps that's big weight. So yeah, I mean, this was a guy who people were very, very high on for the last couple of years. He had kind of dipped a little bit. He didn't grade out quite as well this year. He is a redshirt senior, so he played for a long time. Or he was at USC for a long time, and he was kind of sliding down boards to begin with, to maybe not being that first round, second round guy, maybe more of a third round guy. For a lot of people, maybe a 4th round guy. But then whenever he got injured, it just dropped him all the way down to the 7th round. And this was a guy I wanted the Cowboys to draft. Cowboys have taken chances on guys who've been injured before. Let them come in, let them heal up, give them a redshirt year in the NFL basically, and then see how they do it. And I mean, Jalen Smith from Notre Dame was one of those guys where he his not his rookie year but his first year in the NFL, whenever he came back, was like, he's pretty solid. So yeah, I was kind of unfortunate to see him drop to the 7th round, and but the Ravens, I think, made a huge play on moving up to grab him and let him heal.
It's an investment, right? Because he's not going to play next year.
Yeah, he will not play.
He won't play next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a 2-year investment, and you hope that, you know, at the onset of 2024 or whatever, that this guy starts to feel better, and you know, you got a guard that you put some time in on, but can now ball out for you.
You know what is kind of nice? Now, this might sound kind of dumb. This might be a little bit of copium, but him getting injured at the combine completely writes off the thought of him playing this year at all. Like, if a guy got injured in like the last game of the season in college, or like the last few games of the season in college, then, you know, you might be like, hey, maybe we can rush this guy back. Maybe even himself, like mentally, he's like, maybe I have a chance to play this year. I think with this, you tear your ACL at the combine, it is completely unimaginable to be able to come in and heal and be able to play this year. So I feel like if you can just write that off mentally, and you can focus 100% on your recovery, focus 100% on learning the offense, and just taking notes in meetings and doing everything you can off the field in order to prepare yourself for the next season, I think is a more advantageous position to be in than trying to rush yourself to come back and then maybe having a poor performance because you're not really all there yet. I mean, even on top of that, you end up coming in with you'll have an additional offseason, right? Additional offseason of the strength program and everything else. So yeah, it's a little bit of silver lining, exactly. But I think Andrew Voorhees was a phenomenal phenomenal pick for the Ravens to come back into the 7th round. So, yeah. Even this, I mean, you can see that they got some highlights and stuff here. A lot of people were asking, by the way, they were like, people love the draft show that Will and I and E-Rob did. But a lot of people were like, oh, I wish you had some highlights that you could show to the players. So do I, but a lot of the issue with that was it's like rights. Like you need rights to, like if we're doing a show like that, like you need rights to show all the highlights and stuff, and we didn't really have that. So we had to do the show the way that we did it, and I think it turned out great. I think the show ended up being exactly what we wanted it to be. Which was, this is the kind of show, if you want to watch it on your own, it's just like a fun like side cast, and you know, maybe you're not like the biggest football fan in the world, and you could just watch and enjoy us just like talk about whatever and have guests on. Like maybe you are a big football fan, but you're not into like the super nitty gritty that they might talk about on TV. Or you can watch it alongside what you're watching on TV, and it's supplementary. So I think it turned out perfect. I think it turned out so good. So.
And we'll have more assets next time.
Yeah, we will. Actually, we will. So I think next year we could even do it a little bit bigger. So if you guys have any like suggestions or anything, just post it on my subreddit, and post it in my Discord. If you're in the Discord, you can join the Discord. Post it on the subreddit. Same thing if you're someone who's one of Will's viewers. If you're in Will's community and you're in Will's Discord, you wanna send suggestions and stuff to Will. We can deliberate on it next year, and like, hey, what can we do? What can we not do? And yeah, I think it'll be. You'll have to actually check the subreddit. Okay, I will check the subreddit before next year. Okay, it'll be fine. So I promise to check the subreddit before next year. They're mad at me because I haven't checked my subreddit in like almost 3 months.
A year.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, sorry. I did actually randomly check my subreddit off stream at one point, but I only looked at it for like 2 seconds.
All right, you want to talk about anything else, or you cut me loose?
I'm if you need to go, then that's totally fine. I thought maybe we could bring some. I thought maybe we can bring some viewers on. Do you want to bring some viewers on and talk to some viewers? If you have,
sure.
If you have something that you got to go do, then
No, I got some time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back to bed, but let's do it.
Dude, how much did you sleep last night?
Like 7 hours, but I sleep a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I'm a big sleeper.
See, that's my problem. I'm the opposite. I don't sleep enough at all. Like I think I went to bed at like. Actually, I had a lot of trouble sleeping last night, and I woke up at like 8. So I don't even know what time I went to bed. Rashee Rice. Okay, so Rashee Rice is the Chiefs drafted a receiver from SMU. This guy he's 6'2", fast, explosive. I mean, you can't come up with a better situation to be in as a young receiver coming into the NFL, going to go play with Pat Mahomes. I think that's going to be awesome. I think that is going to be absolutely phenomenal for him, and I think he's going to be a great pick. I mean, the guy jumps over 40 inches, massive vertical. So, okay, chat. We're gonna open up guest star. Yeah, we're gonna open up guest star. Packers are gonna be bad for the next 30 years. Okay. Requests. Okay. As a Falcons fan, what's your opinion on drafting Bijan instead of getting pass rushers like we always need? Yeah, I was kind of surprised the Falcons took Bijan Robinson. I know a lot of people started talking about it. Will, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of kind of storylines about them taking Bijan and that they had been eyeing Bijan. I don't know. I think they want to see what they have in Desmond Ridder, I guess. The rest of that offense is insane. So, you know,
They have
maybe
a lot of young talent.
Bijan was the missing piece, and a lot of people are kind of investing in you. You win in the NFL right now by scoring points. So who knows? But I mean, yeah, a lot of people's logic would have had them taking someone who could get after the quarterback. But
Well, dude, I saw a lot of people talking about how it's like, well, their run game was already good, right? They already had a good run game last year, so you know why did they bring in somebody like Bijan Robinson? And then I saw other people saying like, hey, their run game was so good. Now imagine how good it's going to be with Bijan Robinson. It's just like a whole thing. Where it's like, okay. I think part of the reason why it was so good, I mean, it was good because they performed, right? But on top of that, it was they kind of had to rely on the run, you know. So they had I think Cordero Patterson got hurt at some point, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, but is it Algier or Algier? How do you pronounce
Algier?
It? Okay,
I think it's Algier.
So Algier, yeah, he performed well as well, but Bijan Robinson, I think, is just a big time talent. So yeah, Cordell is also old now. Hold on, I gotta fix my AC. I think it's like hot up here. And then we can add some. We got some people. We got some requests for guest star.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right. We are gonna bring in. Okay. First person we're gonna bring in is Daniel Sauces.
Daniel Sauces.
Daniel Sauces. I met Daniel Sauces at Texas A&M whenever I was doing an A&M tailgate.
Mr. Sauce.
Dude, we got to do another tailgate this year.
Oh, I'd love to.
The tailgate was so fun at UCLA. The first ever tailgate tour I did was with Will at UCLA.
That's true.
And that was a lot of fun. It was the week before school opened at UCLA though.
It was so hot out.
It was super hot. There wasn't that many students there, but I thought it was a really good stream.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, chat. We have our first guest star today. Our first guest for guest star is Daniel Sauces. So we're gonna bring in Daniel Sauces and see what his question is or what he wants to talk about. Hello, Daniel. You're on.
Can you hear me?
Hello,
Yes.
Daniel.
Awesome. How's it going, guys?
Doing
It's
well.
good. We're doing good. What is your question? What do you want to talk about, Daniel?
I want to talk about something I've been thinking a lot about. So every year we keep breaking these records for like most paid quarterback, taking up more and more of the cap space. And I get the feeling that in order to win a Super Bowl, you have to have a game-ready quarterback on a rookie contract. So you have a lot of cap space open that you can use on other players, right? So, that's why you got these young quarterbacks that are game ready that come in, and then it's like they instantly go to the playoffs kind of deal. And then Tom Brady, he was like notoriously underpaid his entire time at New England, right?
Sure.
So I kind of feel that, you get these really good quarterbacks that keep getting more and more salary cap, and they're really good, but they don't win Super Bowls necessarily. So I'm kind of curious as to like, how do we solve this problem other than having like this ever rotating, keep drafting these new young quarterback guys and, these cap space issues. That's something that bothers me.
I mean, one thing I would disagree with, Daniel, is we've had guys outside their rookie contract win the Super Bowl recently, right? Stafford, Mahomes, they're both making that guala. I think one thing I would say, in terms of one thing you don't factor is when you get one of those really high dollar quarterbacks on your squad, they act as a recruiting tool for other players.
So
right?
then then the other players have to take a pay cut essentially, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but I think ultimately the way that you fix the quarterback being the highest paid position is have a team win without one. And I don't mean have a team devoid of a quarterback, but have a meta in the NFL where you don't need like a top 5, top 7 quarterback to win an NFL, and it's just such an outlier, right? Every time a team wins in spite of their quarterback, it becomes like one of those teams like a Rex Grossman, right? Where people talk about it.
Situation.
Yeah, where people talk about it forever. So I don't know. I just think it's
Yeah, I
think
kind
it's
of
gonna
feel,
be a meta.
and I don't know if it's maybe like a front office thing, but a lot of people try to like maximize the quarterback position. It's like, yeah, you only need like a minimum level of quarterback to get you through the game and score. And like you're saying, you don't need these top tier. But I think the fans have a hard time like letting go of their quarterback guy.
Oh, for sure. They're the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to chime in here, and I do think there is something to be said about having the young quarterbacks come in. You have the I think we talked about it. We did. We talked about it on the draft show with Austin Eckler actually, was having those young guys come in and having rookie deals for the quarterbacks if they're playing at a high level. It is a big advantage for sure. Now you don't have to have a quarterback on a rookie deal to win a Super Bowl, but you look at a lot of these teams that are bringing in a lot of talent, and they're making it far into the playoffs, and they have really strong, well-rounded teams. I do think that's a very real thing. Is having guys on those rookie deals perform really well. Now, something else to consider when it comes to the salary cap. The salary cap in the NFL is really, really weird, and I don't even completely understand it. And there always seems to be a way for people to move money around and restructure contracts in order to find a way to sign the guys that they want to sign and not completely handcuff them.
Like signing bonuses.
Yeah,
dude, if you look at the Saints are like masters of this.
Yeah, they do like a carryover thing for where, because a guy didn't make his like Pro Bowl benefit the year before, then like it frees up cap's room the next year or something like that.
Dead cap.
Yeah, so that's definitely a thing. So okay, cool. That was a good question. Thanks, Daniel.
Yep.
I wanna keep rotating people in here.
Yeah.
So all right, see you, Daniel. You're famous.
My man Daniel Sauces.
Cool.
How do I hang up?
Okay. Okay, that's cool, dude. I love guest star. I'm like obsessed with this feature. I think it's so good. Okay, we are gonna bring in. Let's see who's the next guy we're gonna bring in here. Let's see. We'll bring the next person in here. Okay, we're gonna bring in Manny MZ. Yeah. You can do some crazy trickery with a Cav if you sign a lot of long-term contracts, but that's obviously too risky. Yeah. And get them like way backloaded. Look at the Hurts contract. Yeah, I mean Jalen Hurts. I mean, I'll be honest. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm being a hater. I don't think I am. I think Jalen Hurts making him the highest paid quarterback in football was kind of crazy. Because I think Jalen Hurts is good, but I don't think he's. I don't think he's like one of those S tier guys. I think he's like a. I think the way he performed last year, I would say he's like an A. Like if I had to do like a quarterback tier list, I'd say he's like an A. Because
I don't know, man. I think he.
Are you a big Jalen Hurts guy?
I think he is a guy that has been slept on so consistently in his contract, despite always winning. He's just a fucking winner.
But I'm just such a believer in like it's a team sport, you know.
Yeah.
And I know they were great last year, and I know they were. I mean, they weren't great the year before, but they were still good. And he performed. I think he performed just fine. I think he performed well. But I just think it's just such a team sport that it's hard to. I think it's hard to attribute winning on like directly on the quarterback.
Yeah.
like over a long period of
Yeah.
time. Like you might have a game where a guy comes in clutch and wins the game, but I don't think I just don't think he's and again, maybe I'm wrong. I very well could be wrong. And I think
Let me ask you this question.
okay.
Tomorrow, the Eagles somehow in an unfathomable trade are offered Jalen Hurts for Dak Prescott, but they got to pay him the exact same amount you're paying him. Are you going to take him?
So it's just a straight up swap, not worrying about the contracts.
No, you have to pay what the Eagles pay him.
Oh, yeah, see, I wouldn't do that.
You're lying, bro.
For the
You're
cost?
absolutely talking shit right now.
For the cost?
You are absolutely talking shit.
I actually do think Jalen Hurts today, right now, is in a better, like if I had to rank him, I would put Jalen Hurts higher than Dak Prescott right now. But I think for the cost, I mean, the cost is insane. Like you're gonna make him the high. Like I think if you were to do a
let me put it this way: if the Cowboys have Jalen Hurts next year, they're a Super Bowl favorite.
Are they?
Yeah, yes.
Because you gotta listen. You gotta remember, this is the Cowboys that we're talking about. So like, if it's the Cowboys, I mean, they'll find a way to screw it up.
Okay, sure.
All right, we're gonna bring in Manny MZ. We got Manny MZ slotted here. Let's see. Hello, Manny.
Yo, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Manny, what's up, bud?
What is your question?
I don't have a question. I just want to bring up something funny. You guys watch Undisputed?
Not consistently. I'll like see clips of it, but I know what it is.
Oh, the Shannon Sharp show. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say, like, they're so shameless when it comes to like Cowboy stuff. Like, they literally led the show with like the Cowboys draft pick, as if like that's like the main story of the night, dude. Yeah, I was like, what the?
Dude, it's because the Cowboys had the most. Look, the Cowboys are the most important team in the NFL. Okay,
that's kind of wild.
The Cowboys are the most important team in the NFL. I'm gonna say it. Why? Because when people talk about the Cowboys, people either want to support them or they want to shit on them. That's it. Whenever it comes to media, they are far and away the most important team because people are always going to want to talk about the Cowboys. They're either going to want to hate on them or they're going to want to love them, and that's it.
Dude, S-Fan, can I admit something to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I used to be a Cowboys fan.
See, exactly. See, now even you're talking about the Cowboys. But, like, that is...
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Like, I feel
I'm doing my best Stephen A. Smith right now.
Do they
Cowboys reached in the first round for Mazzy. Everybody knows it. Most important team? What are you talking about?
Dude, okay, what team gets talked about more? What team gets talked about more than the Cowboys?
I mean...
I would think like the Patriots when
I don't
Tom
think
Brady.
So. Yeah, but here's the thing. The Patriots, when they're winning a bunch of Super Bowls, right? The Cowboys...
Right, are we talking about right now or are we talking about ever?
I'm saying in general. Like on an
Kansas City
average,
Chiefs right now.
I think on an average NFL season, I think you can talk about the Cowboys and it's going to generate impressions and interactions from people because people love talking shit about the Cowboys. And they have a big fan base. So because they have a big fan base, then you have all the Cowboys fans come try and defend themselves against all the people talking shit. So it causes the biggest. They're the most controversial team. They're the most or maybe the most conversational team, right? Not necessarily controversial. I don't know, but it makes people want to talk about. It makes people want to talk about the show. It makes people want to talk about football. So that's why I actually think when it comes to media, when it comes to NFL media, the Cowboys are the most important team because it generates the most discussion.
Well, they are the most profitable team, right?
Yeah. So, like, I think it's like most valuable sports franchises. So, if we look at I disabled. I promise. Okay. How did it know? Okay.
It knows, dude.
Okay, all right, I'll try again. Okay. Look, number one most what's this website? Number one most valuable team in the world, valued at $8 billion, is the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is this in the
Yeah,
world?
that's
No, hold on. Is this in the
you're
world or
right
in
now?
America? No, this is in America. This is in America. No, this is in the world. Wait, what? The Patriots are number 2 in the world now?
Bro, they've been
Wow.
selling jerseys for dude. That is a symptom of bandwagon mentality.
But you know what's crazy to me is you have now Real Madrid is number 13, Barcelona 15. Like, that's kind of crazy. Because it used to be a lot closer. There's a bunch of NFL teams valued higher than a lot of these big big time soccer teams.
It's because we sell jerseys.
That's right. We sell jerseys. We do.
That's right.
That's right. That's exactly how we do it here in America. America's
I'm
team.
buying me a Zach Kuntz jersey tomorrow.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You know what? The Cowboys may not be America's team. They're the world's team. Number 1. Okay, $8 billion. You can say whatever the hell you want.
That's right.
They're
buddy.
the most valuable team in the NFL. There's a reason for that. So, anyway, that's my opinion. That's why I think that people will talk about the Cowboys so much, even if like you said, they led the show with pick number, they had pick number 23, but they led the show with it. Then that's just what it is. They want to stir up people talking. They want to get people talking about the show. So, yeah. Anyway, good not really question, but good comment, Manny. Thanks, dude.
Hey, thanks.
We'll see ya.
See ya, man.
That was good. Typical Cowboys fan. Am I not wrong? Am I wrong about this? I feel like if you
listen, you're not wrong about them being the most valuable. I fully agree with that. I'm on board with that. One thing I would say though is most talked about. I gotta be honest. Last few years, for a long time, it's been the Jets, and I think a big part of that is people love to shit on the Jets. Yeah, people love to shit on the Jets. So many NFL commentators are Jets fans. So many.
Okay, I do think
Rich Eisen.
I do think the Jets are boosted because of that. I actually do agree with that.
They are boosted because of that.
I do agree with that too, because I think there are a lot of
chat's question marking, but you guys do realize that like the majority of the sports commentators you watch are New Yorkers and they're Jets fans, and it's not like they're giving them like props. They're usually shitting on them because it's really good media to shit on the Jets. When the Jets inevitably jet every year, it's always the biggest storyline. They always have a quarterback controversy, which is a giant storyline. If you don't think that the Aaron Rodgers trade was the biggest story of the offseason, you are getting question marked.
Yeah,
like,
I do think you're right about that, actually. I think that Aaron Rodgers probably was the biggest.
Because there's always fucking controversy. And they're always a fucking mess.
You know when I do think the Jets were actually like just inarguably probably top. Actually, they might have been the most talked about for a few years. There was when Rex Ryan was with the Jets.
The Jets,
fun.
The Jets Hard Knocks was one of it was like a sensation.
Dude,
they still play that. Let's go get a goddamn snack clip today.
Dude, that was when Hard Knocks popped off, was whenever it was like the Jets, the Bengals with Chad Johnson, like that. Those years were amazing.
Yes. And I think chat misunderstands me saying most talked about does not mean that people are giving them love or that they're doing well. I'm not under any delusions that my franchise hasn't sucked out loud. I'm just saying people love to talk about the Jets sucking out loud.
Yeah.
When you look at other teams that suck or have sucked, like the Jags, no one's talking about the Jags the way they talk about the fucking Jets because people love to shit on the Jets when they're bad. When the Jags are bad, it's just like, oh yeah, fucking Jacksonville's bad. Who cares?
Yeah. No. I mean, whenever Jacksonville's bad, it's like you expect them to be bad.
Yeah.
But whenever the Jets are bad, which they are a lot, but not right now, but just historically they've been bad for a long time. when the Jets are bad, people like to shit on the Jets because it's, I mean, New York Jets, New Jersey. I mean, just like that, when people think of like the typical Jets fan, it's like, that's just, they're like, yeah, like it's just fun to like, it's fun to shit on the Jets. Also, the Jets too. The Jets have historically just blown their first round pick time and time again. And the compilations of Jets fans screaming at the draft is so funny.
What are you doing?
It's so funny. But yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, being talked about doesn't necessarily mean that they're talking about it in a positive way. You know? I'm trying to bring our next guest on here. If we can get an approval. So yeah, it is good. Yeah, you can request under the stream. There's a request button to join guest star. We're gonna do a few more, maybe like 1 or 2 more. So yeah, and then we're gonna let Will go to sleep. So and we can go on. We can do more things. So yeah, when you're in a competition with S-Fan and Dick riding the Cowboys. Okay, I'm not saying the Cowboys are good now. I'm saying the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl next year. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I think the Cowboys are just, they talk about them a lot because they have such a huge fan base. You know, I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying they're talked about a lot, right? A lot like Will saying the same thing with the Jets. So, when were they good? Enlighten us. Before I was born. That's when they were good. Yeah. I accept a request. How do you set up the mic? It should just be like a normal, like allow camera, allow mic thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the screen, you'll see 2 like orbs.
Yeah. Well, we'll take maybe 1 or 2 more. I think maybe 1 or 2 more. Have they talked about the Raiders yet? Did we talk about the Raiders?
The Raiders.
I don't know if we did talk about the Raiders. Let's go back. We can look at the Raiders real quick. Oh, draft. There we go. Don't get us started on the Raiders. Oh, okay. That's weird. Las Vegas Raiders. Dude, I love Las Vegas. I can't wait for TwitchCon.
Yeah.
I think TwitchCon Las Vegas is going to be good. Yeah, I mean, so they took Tyree Wilson with their first pick, and they took Michael Mayer with their second pick. I love Michael Mayer.
People say Tyree is a freak. They love him.
This is like a typical, like, just big, strong, fast, freak of nature. This was like a typical Raiders pick, just like a classic Raiders pick. So we'll see how he pans out. We'll see how this guy pans out. He, like, I see on this, they said kind of like Ezekiel Ansah. I compared him to Jason Pierre-Paul. He's a little bit bigger than Jason Pierre-Paul. I think Ezekiel Ansah is actually probably a good comparison as well. But I think that was great. And I think Michael Mayer he's Jason Witten. Like, watching his stuff and looking at his, you know, he's a little bit smaller, tiny bit smaller, but Michael Mayer is you know, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he is unbelievably just like technically sound. Great blocker, great pass catcher. Just everything he does is good. Everything he does is good. But he's just not this, like, you know, he's not a blazer. Or he's not going to go jump out the gym or any of that stuff. But I love Michael Mayer. So I think he's going to be a great pick for them. Okay, yeah, well, let's bring on, we're going to bring on Pikmin Lover 9000. Okay, and this will be our last guest for today for the post-draft show. Again, from Simply Safe. Big shout out to Simply Safe. Again, chat, big shout out from Simply Safe. Remember, simplysafe.com/sfand. Simplysafe.com/sfand. You can save 20% on your Simply Safe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan, and you get your first month free. So there's no long-term contract, no hidden fees, and setup is easy to do yourself. So if you guys want to look into a new home security system, check out simplysave.com/esfand, and you get more details there. Okay, we're gonna bring on Pikmin. Is it Pikmin Lover or Pokemon Lover? I think it's Pokemon because that's how Pokemon is spelled in the. It's Pokemon. Okay, what's up, man? Oh, we can't hear you. Is your
There we go.
There we go.
Hello.
Yeah, it's Pokemon, Pokemon, Pac-Man, Pinkman. I heard them all. Pornhub one time. I don't know. Kids are weird.
So what's your question?
My question is, how do I feel about the schedule next year? I'm not sure if y'all aware, but it's going to be NFC East versus AFC East. Oh, yeah, NFC versus AFC East next year. So it's going to be like a slobber knocker fighting each other.
Yeah.
Dolphins, everyone.
I mean,
Pats.
that's going to be a pretty brutal. I hadn't looked at the schedule, but just off the cuff, that's going to be pretty brutal. I mean,
yeah, no, that's happening.
I think the AFC East has the potential to be probably the best division in football next year. I think
potential.
Yeah, I mean,
it is the best division.
You don't know what's
football.
gonna happen. You don't know who's gonna get hurt.
Straight up.
Okay.
Straight up best division in football.
You don't know what's gonna happen with injuries and everything like that. I think right now, I think it's probably between them, and I do think their main competition.
AFC North.
Who's North? Oh,
North
Bengals,
is the
Ravens.
Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, and Browns. But also, here's the thing. The AFC West, you got the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders. Raiders weren't great this year.
The Broncos look to figure it out.
I think Broncos just had a bad year. But the AFC East, I think the Bills are going to be good. I think the Dolphins are probably going to be good. I think the Patriots are probably going to be the Patriots. And I think the Jets are going to actually be good. And I will go as far as saying I think the Jets are Super Bowl contenders. I think right now they are a Super Bowl contender caliber team. I really believe that. I think bringing Aaron Rodgers in puts them in the discussion. I genuinely believe that.
What a bold and yet insightful thing you're saying. I can't necessarily agree, but it's an interesting take that I'd never really thought of.
We'll see how the Aaron Rodgers does next year because I thought the Jets have a really good defense. So if Aaron Rodgers and the offense could figure it out,
dude, I am kind of on the Jets bandwagon right now. Like, I think the Jets are going to be really fun. You know what? You know who else I'm kind of on the bandwagon of? I always pick like a bad team that I want to be good. Like 10 years ago it was like the Seahawks, and then for a while it was the Bills. I'm kind of feeling that way. I'm kind of getting spread thin here because I'm kind of feeling that way about I'm feeling that way about the Texans. I'm feeling that way about the Colts. I'm feeling that way about. There was another team I was thinking about with this too.
Steelers?
No, not Steelers. I'm trying to blank. Who's the other team? Oh, the Falcons. The Falcons as well. Like those three teams are kind of like my. These teams are bad bandwagon, but I really I'm gonna be excited if they're good.
You know who my bandwagon teams are next year that I'm watching?
What?
Carolina, because my parents still live there.
Okay.
And Detroit, baby.
The Detroit
Let's
Lions.
go, Detroit. I am all aboard. Let's get some wins in Detroit.
I think it'll be fun. I think if the Lions are good, it's going to be fun. I just think I always think it's fun to have bad teams and just watch them get better. I mean, that's literally when I play Madden, that is the entirety of how I play Madden is I'd like to pick bad teams and I like to rebuild them and make them good to play with. So, I mean, hell, dude, my next Madden franchise might be with the Colts, I think. Dude, I might play Madden again soon, actually. I'm getting the freaking itch, dude. We did that draft at your house, that fantasy draft, and just watching and commentating the games was so fun. That was actually so fun, and just like we had no control, and we're just let's see what happens.
Big guy football.
Big guy football. That's what it's all about. That's big guy football right there.
The Cincinnati big guys.
The Cincinnati big guys. That was great. So, okay, awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's gonna be rough. Back to the question, Pokemon lover. It's I think that is gonna be rough for the NFC East, playing against the AFC East, because I mean that.
Somebody for both. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles are gonna be nasty. The Cowboys, of course, are gonna be the Cowboys. So we'll see what happens there.
You know what? I thought it was pretty crazy that last year, our whole division, NFC East, almost made it into the playoffs. Commanders screwed it up towards the end, but
yeah, they did actually.
Come on, that's
true,
pretty crazy.
Because the Giants kind of came on at the end of the season. Yeah, the Commanders, dude. You know what's crazy about the Commanders? About Washington, they never have a quarterback. Who is the best quarterback that they've had in like the last 20 years? Probably Donovan McNabb after he was with the Eagles, right? Oh, actually no, Robert Griffin. They had Robert Griffin for like 1 year. It was like nuts. I think he was nuts for 1 year, and he was good another year. Am I remembering this right? Let me look this up. Robert Griffin stats. But Kirk
you know
Cousins,
what division's gonna get throttled is the NFC South, in my opinion. I think the NFC South is throttled.
Yeah, the NFC South is gonna have some. They're gonna have some work to do for sure. Tampa Bay, Carolina, the Saints, and the Falcons. That'll be kind of a fun division to watch and just kind of see like who like comes out of the rubble of that one, because you got a quarterback situation for every one of those teams. I was looking. I clicked on them and I was like looking at them. I'm looking at Tampa Bay, Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta. I'm like, yeah, literally everybody. So, you got a first round pick for Carolina. You got the first overall pick for Carolina, which is, that'll be interesting. You got Baker is coming to Tampa, that'll be interesting because of what happened in Carolina with him. You have the Saints. Who is the Saints quarterback? Why am I? Oh, Derek Carr. I forgot. That's probably the best situation right now. Just like for this year. I mean, I think Derek Carr is better than people give him credit for. I think he'll do fine in New Orleans, actually. But then you have Desmond Ridder with the Falcons. So, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for the question, Pokemon lover. We will. We'll see you later.
No, y'all have a
Thanks
good one.
for the question.
Cool. I think it's time for Will to go back to bed.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do.
I think that's probably good. I think that's probably a good idea, dude. I love doing this guest star stuff.
Oh, it's fun.
I don't know if we even told you guys. We were talking about maybe even doing guest star with. We were talking about doing guest star with viewers during the draft show, because we had all the NFL players come on with guest star. We thought about even doing it with viewers and maybe asking questions, but the draft show went so like it was like this the whole time. We had like more stuff planned, and we just didn't have time to even do it. Because we wanted to do Coach S-Fan like a few times. We wanted to do we had like some trivia stuff we were talking about, and it was just the whole show was just like this. But yeah, we didn't get to it. I don't know if realistically we will be able to do guest star with viewers during the show with how fast that goes. But yeah. Anyway, chat one more time. Another big shout out to Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe. So you can save 20% if you get a Simply Safe security system. You sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. And you visit simplysafe.com/sfand and you can customize yours. So if you guys want to check out Simply Safe, big shout out to Simply Safe. We would not have been able to get the show done without them coming in clutch with the big sponsor and partnering up with us for the show. So that was cool. So hearts in the chat for Simply Safe. Hearts in the chat for We Play again. Will, that was something.
We did something.
We did like. I feel like really overwhelmingly proud about what we were able to pull off at We Play, and especially like okay, those guys. You didn't have a bunch of football experts working on this show. You know, they're a Ukrainian production team. These guys did their research. I gave them like a vision for like, hey, I want it to kind of look like this. This is kind of what I have in mind. And I went there on Monday. No, I flew in on Tuesday. I don't remember. I flew in that week to kind of finalize everything, and like we were in studio kind of working day and night leading up to the show, just to kind of make sure everything's in place. And they were like, okay, so we got this. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like this blows my mind. It legitimately felt like whenever I go back and I watch the VOD, it was like I was watching a TV broadcast. I thought it was as good as any broadcast on TV. That blew my mind. We Play killed it, man. That was so good.
They really did.
Yeah.
And listen, here's what I'll leave you with.
Okay.
Telling you, this is the storyline. After years of being stomped down by the Pats trade up to the New York Jets to take a punter. And everybody's going, oh, if that punter's great, the Jets look like a fool. Well, listen, it's the other side of the equation. It's Zach Kuntz, baby, in the 7th round. Zach Kuntz, that 7th round pick is going to come back to haunt you, New England Patriots, because Kuntz is coming to make it moist all over New England, baby. We're talking moist Kuntz all off season, baby. Zach to the end zone. That's what we're doing, baby.
I think that is going to be fantastic. I'm actually jealous. I wanted the Cowboys to draft him because dude, he's going to be
everybody wanted Kuntz.
Dude, he is going to be like, if you're a Madden player too, like he's going to be a complete cheese ball in Madden. It's going to be so annoying to play against the Jets. It's going to be completely obnoxious to play against the Jets. They're going to put him in receiver, put him at tight end, put him at fullback. It's going to be miserable playing against the Jets.
Everybody wants to get their hands on Kuntz. He's just a freak out.
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry. I'm so stupid. I gotta get out of here.
All right, Will. We'll see you later. Hearts in the chat.
All right, thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah,
and thanks, chat. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
We'll see you later. Hearts in the chat for WillNeff. Make sure to go follow Will. Make sure to go follow WillNeff on Twitch. Oh, that was great, man.